How we doing today, guys? Sam back with this week's fishing report for you. Fishing's pretty good out there, especially for the rockfish starting out. That's of course what most folks are going to be going after. If you can get north of the bridge, that's going to be your best bet, at least on the open bay side of things. Areas like the mouth of the Chester, the mouth of Patapsco, all the way up, even up to Tolchester, I've heard some pretty good fishing. But the west side up there towards the mouth of the Patapsco has been the best. Even going up inside the river, all the way up to the Key Bridge, I've heard people having success. It's that time of the year where really versatility is definitely your friend. If you want to fish with bait, whether that be soft crabs or live spot, they're super readily available this time of the year, and that can always be a good bet. If I'm doing more of that bait fishing, I'm more going to be towards structure like the bridges and the lighthouses, stuff like that. And then trolling too. You can of course troll this time of the year. A great way to cover a lot of water, especially with some of these schools kind of spread out up in the northern bay. You might be able to troll, find them, and then maybe start casting some lures and stuff. As far as lures go, your typical summer stuff, 5 to 7 inch straight tail baits, rigged up with a 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce jig head, kind of depending on that current and tide, depth, stuff like that. As far as colors, your chartreuses and your white, of course, are going to be really good bets for you. As far as perch fishing goes, we're in the full summer swing here. If you want to go fish up in the shallows and the creeks or up in the rivers, 3 feet or less, casting little spinners, you can certainly do that. If you want to push out and fish some of that harder bottom towards the mouths of the rivers or out in the open bay, you can definitely have some good success. Areas like Hackett's, Thomas Point, stuff like that can be really good for you. So moving down the bay a little bit, as far as the trout fishing goes, I heard it's pretty good lately. I think it's going to be a little bit better, especially with the cooler weather we've had. When it gets really, really hot, sometimes they tend to push off the bank a little bit. So this 60 to 75 degree weather has been pretty good for them. So that's doing pretty well down towards your islands, lower Maryland into Virginia, stuff like that. So other than that, down towards the ocean, I've heard the tuna bite has started to slow down quite a bit. However, the wreck fishing has picked up for your sea bass and your flounder. That's starting to do a lot better right now. Most of your inshore reefs, 8 to 15 miles off, have been doing pretty well. So really good fishing down towards the ocean if you want to do some wreck fishing. As far as freshwater goes, it's more of your summer patterns for those largemouth, some moving baits, and then maybe we're going to start slowing stuff down as it gets hotter and hotter with like you're dragging a Texas rig with a crawl or a worm, really your summer stuff around here. So really good fishing on that front as well. So redfish and cobia, I haven't heard as much as we were hearing a couple of weeks ago, but I still think it's going to pick up, especially once we get past this big cold fronts. I think it kind of messed up some of that water down in those cleaner areas you're going to be fishing for, those cobia and drum down towards the beach. So a lot of good fish in there too to come, but not quite here yet. So if you're up here in the upper bay, definitely the rockfish, definitely what you're going to be looking for. Rockfish in the middle bay has been a little bit tougher. I know some of the islands down there south of the Chop Tank have been doing all right for your rockfish if you're looking for some of the shallow water stuff in the middle bay. But once you get up bay, you're really shooting all the way up to the mouths of those rivers at the upper bay. So thanks, guys, and good luck out there.